name's Jean Thaxton, and I'm Mike Nida's mother.
I'm Terri, Teramura, Mike's sister.
Mike was murdered by Downey Police. He was shot in the back, and that's why we're here. Mike was getting ready to go out for his birthday. His birthday was in 3 days. And my husband and I were at the grocery store, and he called me up at 5 minutes till 7 and said, "Mom, hurry up, come home. We have plans to go out with our friends." And so my husband and I went home, and probably at about 7:15, 7:20, Mike left our house. I think that the police even said that he was shot at 7:20. I think that's it. I don't think that's accurate. And he left my house, and shortly after he left, probably no more than 15 minutes, we heard sirens. And it's funny because, I mean, I don't usually take note of the sirens, that I hear, but I actually consciously thought about those sirens. And then right after that, my phone rang, and my daughter-in-law screaming on the phone, he's down on the ground, they shot him. And I said, who? She said, Mike, he's down on the ground. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you just left here. I'm thinking, what did he do? And why would the police shoot him? I couldn't think of anything that Michael would do that would cause the police to shoot him. My husband and I jumped in the car, and we ran over to there at the corner of Downey and Imperial and Paramount Boulevard, there at the ARCO station. And they were just putting Michael on the stretcher. They were already, I already knew that he was not breathing on his own. They were using that bag thing, and they were putting him on the ambulance. And his wife was standing over on the side, and I tell the police officer, let her come over here, and they wouldn't let him do it. They wouldn't let him come to her come to him. And they were telling me, stay back, ma'am, stay back. And I said, this is my son, what happened? And so they put him in the ambulance. They wouldn't let his wife go with him to the hospital. And I go over there and I said, what happened? The police officer said, he matched the description of a robbery suspect. And I said, what? I said, he left my house 20 minutes ago. And now he's shot? Why did you shoot him? He matched the description.
The MP5 submachine gun was used on Mike. They fired 3 shots.
So the thing of it is, Michael left our house. He stopped to get gas, and then while his wife was pumping gas, he went in and paid for the gas. And while his wife was pumping gas, she was pumping gas. He ran across the street to get some cigarettes for his wife, or cigars, or whatever. When he came out of the stores, when he was first stopped, and if he was in fact a robbery suspect, isn't the protocol, isn't the procedure to actually, when you see a suspect that you expect is a robbery suspect, wouldn't they immediately put his hands on the car, pat him down, handcuff him? But apparently that's not what they did. They said they sat him on the curb or something. I heard somebody say that. And then he took off running. And the MP5. And so he takes off running. The place was already crawling with cops. We know that now because the police officer, after Michael was shot, told me that there had been a robbery in the area at the ATM machine she told me about an hour before. That's what she said to me, about an hour before. So the place was already crawling with police officers. When Michael ran, the lady got on her radio and said that the suspect had ran. And we know this because a family friend was listening to the police radio scanner. But we also know when he ran, because police officers don't carry these guns on their persons, he had to go to his cruiser, open the trunk, pull the gun out so he could shoot my son. That's premeditated murder. Michael belonged to the Carpenters Union. He was a drywall finisher, and he had been doing drywall since he was 15 years old. When his biological mother taught him how to do, that's what she did. She was a contractor, and she taught him how to do drywalling. He spent some time with her when he was around 15 years old, and that was the profession that he took up. And Mike was always full of energy, loved to skateboard. He loved to skateboard. He loved to run. He loved sports. He coached basketball. He coached football with his son. All the kids loved him. All the kids loved him. All the kids in the neighborhood loved him, especially when he brought his skateboard out and he would show them all the tricks on the skateboard and things that he would do. As he got older and he started driving and he shaved his head and he wore the big clothes and he had the goatee and he had a few tattoos, he'd call me on the phone and I'd be talking to him. He'd say, "Mom, cops are behind me. They're pulling me over." All they'd have to do is look in the window and see Mike and see how he looked. Michael was half Puerto Rican, so he looked Hispanic. He didn't look Caucasian. He was half white, half Caucasian. He didn't look Caucasian. He looked Hispanic. And constantly, he would, it was not, Mike was stopped at least once a week. At least once a week. Not for doing it. They'd always let him go because he hadn't broken any laws. They just pulled him over because of the way he looked. On the police scanner, our friend told us he heard the police scanner, said it was two black males with dark hoodies and shorts. Michael did not look black. He looked white or Hispanic. He had a shaved head, and a goatee, and I'm sure that they looked at him and thought, this is a bad boy, and he's probably up to something, and so they just stopped him. Absolutely, I believe it's racial profiling. Absolutely.
Well, since we were in shock, I'm just so thankful that a Downey resident, Kim Hunter, started a petition on change.org, and as a result of that, we've come to welcome him into our family. He's just a wonderful person, and it's aimed at the Downey City Council and other members, and the family has now also started a second petition on change.org, authored by Michael's children, the 4 children, to restrict the use of the MP5 submachine gun by law enforcement.
I would want to know what his criteria. I would like to ask him, what is the criteria for hiring these people? What's the criteria for carrying an MP5? What do you do? What kind of disciplinary action do you take against your staff when they do something that's unjustified or is labeled police brutality? They know what police brutality is. They know what it is. I'm going to tell you that Daryl Gates said, I used to work in internal affairs for LAPD, and Daryl Gates, his war cry was, everybody out there is a criminal but you and I. But you and I. You know what that meant? That meant that he was tying down that whatever they do, they can do it. They're not a criminal. Go ahead. Everybody out there is a criminal but you and I. Go get them before they get you. What's it telling them? What's it telling them? It's telling them to do exactly what that police officer did to my son. I would tell them, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that they have to live in a society. That they have to, these people that are supposed to serve and protect them is taking the life of somebody they love, or that they have been the victim of this abuse. But I would also tell them that don't stand back quietly.
No.
Don't stand back quietly. Get together, form a group, and get together with other people. Let's bring attention to the public, to the general public. Let's bring attention. Let's demand change, and let's not stop with the city of Downey. Let's not stop with the state of California. Let's make United States of America what it's supposed to be. That's what I would tell them. If you've been abused, don't keep quiet about it. If you've lost somebody that you love due to police brutality or lethal force, unjustly, don't stay quiet about it. I would like the politicians in the state of California to listen. I would like for them to open their eyes and listen. I want them to look at UC Davis when they pepper sprayed those people sitting there mildly and pepper sprayed them. I want them to look at that case, and I want them to look at the case of Michael and the case of so many others. And I want them to say it's time that we made a change. That we need to step up and make some changes and stop letting police officers be criminals. It's like the mafia inside the police department. They need to change it.